Hey, what's up everyone? Here's Gore's Month of Horror number 15. This time I decided I'm going to take a look at one of the most classic horror movies of all time, at least to me. This time I am looking at Creepshow. If you don't know what Creepshow is, and you call yourself a horror fan, run into a wall made of glass, because I don't like you. That's all I really gotta say. I will explain what it is during the review, but before I start with the review, this is going to be an unedited movie review because my whole Gore's Month of Horrors reviews have been like this. So, there's a whole bunch of movies to review, so I can't really take about an hour to do a video. I mean, I have to get through it because, come on, I'm not made of time, alright? Jeez. So it's going to be one of my last ones. Tomorrow and Monday are going to be my last two before Saw 3D and my Halloween special. So, yeah. So I'll have like 4 other reviews if you include this one. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the review of Creepshow. Okay, now Creepshow is based on the old 1950s EC comics, which are just like little short stories. I never really read any of them, but I heard about them. They're like little short horror stories written by, I'm not really sure who wrote them, but I know who wrote this one, this movie. But yeah, they're based on those. So this movie actually has 5 different stories. They're all pretty short. Like the shortest one's probably maybe 15 minutes, and the longest one maybe 25 minutes. It's about 2 hours altogether, and maybe 30 minutes is the longest one. But yeah, altogether it's about 2 hours of 5 stories, and it's kind of like the Twilight Zone. You could say, if you don't know what this is, you obviously know what the Twilight Zone is. If you don't know what the Twilight Zone is, and you just know one word from their Twilight, then I swear I will strangle you until you are a whole bunch of different colors. Okay? But if you do know the Twilight Zone, then you know each episode is a different horror story. Somewhat just like this. Okay? It's pretty much exactly like this, except it's a movie and it has 5 different stories. Okay, I'm gonna go through each story and what I like and what I dislike about them, and I'm gonna tell you at the end what's my favorite story. And yeah, and I'm gonna score up the whole movie. So let's go on to the first short, which is Father's Day, which is a pretty good one. I have to admit, it's not my favorite one. I'll just say it right here, but it's a pretty good one, and it starts it off pretty good. It's a good starter one. What it is about is a father who always wants his cake every Father's Day, and his daughter's just like, you know what, I'm tired of this. She kills him. Later on in the future, he comes back and kills a whole bunch of people, let's say that, and he gets his cake at the end. Really, it's just 20 minutes. I'm not going to try to explain each story for each one, so yeah. It's really about 20 minutes, and it's not extremely gory. You get some good actors. You get, Carrie Nye and Ed Harris, they're both pretty good in it, and you got other people, but really it's just a small one. Not really a big movie, the whole thing, to talk about acting, but they were pretty good, and overall I liked Father's Day. It was a good one to start off with, so I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. I really liked it. So then we go on to the next story, which is The Lonesome Death of Jody Verrill. Okay, now The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, I'm sorry, I said Jody. Jordy Verrill is a really good one, mostly because it actually stars Stephen King, the screenwriter of this movie, and he's really good in this role. I mean, it's a pretty silly role. He plays like a pretty much a hillbilly, I would say. A sympathetic hillbilly. So yeah, I mean, I won't even say hillbilly. He's a country guy. He's just like growing stuff on his lawn. And so for some reason, a meteor just falls from the sky, and he's like, "Ooh, meteor!" He wants to sell it. He touches it, and then he gets this what he calls meteor shit all over him, and it starts growing on him, and finds out it's like some alien grass, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look like real grass. It looks like alien grass. So he's just turning into pretty much Grass Man. And it's pretty good. I mean, Stephen King does a pretty good job. He's pretty funny in the movie. And it's pretty sad what happens. It's called The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. So obvious what happens. It's pretty good. It's only 15 minutes long. It's actually a little better than Father's Day. I'll give it 8.5 out of 10. Let's go on to the next one, which is Something to Tide You Over, which is, I would say right here, it's actually my favorite, mostly because it's about 20-25 minutes. It's the longest one so far, and it's really good because it actually sets up a really cool thing that Leslie Nielsen is really good in this film. I haven't seen him do anything that's not really comedy before, so this is kind of new for me. And what he does is he pretty much he gets pissed that his wife is cheating on him, so he gets his wife and the guy that's fucking his wife, played by Ted Danson, and he buries them in sand at a beach, and when the tide comes in, they will drown pretty much. He buries their whole body except their head in sand, so they can't move at all, and then the waves come in, tide, drown. And I really like this until it gets to the supernatural parts, and then I'm like, okay, but that's like the last 2 minutes, eh? And that was a little weird, and it really was the last 2 minutes. But everything else before that was really good. It set up a very cool, like, suspenseful thing, and it was really good. I really liked it, and, Leslie Nielsen's pretty good in it, until later on where he goes crazy. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I really, really like this one. I thought it was great. So let's go on to the next one, which is, talking about great, let's talk about The Crate. Ooh, you saw what I did there? This one I also really, really liked. It's pretty much a monster in a crate. That's all I really need to explain. And it screws some stuff up. This one actually probably has the most gore in there. Like, people get their neck bitten off and face slashed in and stuff. And I don't know, people get mauled to death, and it's pretty good. It's pretty bloody, and I like this one a lot. I like this one just as much as The Lonesome Death, and I actually probably like this with the sci-fi elements much more than I like the Tide You Over one. And this one's really good. I really like it. This one has Hal Holbrook, he's a great actor, and he's really good in this one. And you have some other ones like Adrienne Barbeau, who is annoying, but that's what her character's supposed to be, and what happens to her is pretty sweet, and overall, pretty good one. I really like this one. I'll give it an 8.8 out of 10. Really like it. Like it a little more than actually the Lonesome Death, but I like it a little bit less than Tide You Over, only because the stuff that wasn't sci-fi elements in Something Tide You Over was really freaking good. So, let's go into our last story, which is They're Creeping Up on You with E.G. Marshall, who's actually playing probably the douchiest character in the whole freaking movie. I mean, Adrienne Barbeau's character was pretty douchey. This guy's really douchey. There's a part in this movie, in this short, that he's just like laughing at one of his colleagues dying, and it's hilarious. I mean, this guy is such a douchebag that you can't wait until he dies, and when he does, I'll just say right here, he does. And when he does, holy crap, he dies in the most glorious and most memorable way I can ever think of, and it's pretty bloody and pretty gross. I mean, this whole movie is about him hating bugs and him trying to kill every single cockroach that's in his apartment, and him being a douchebag the whole way through. It's like 15 minutes. It's probably the shortest one, I would think, but it's a pretty good one. I like this a little bit more than Father's Day, so I'll give this one an 8.3 out of 10. I really like this one, even though it's pretty short, and the guy's a douchebag, and every time he talks, he makes me laugh. But it's E.G. Marshall for you, so overall, Creepshow is a classic, and I love it so much. If I had to give Creepshow a score, I'd probably give it higher than any of the shorts I gave it. I'll give it a 9.2 out of 10, only because you get all these shorts in just one movie, and you also get a little side story here and there, which is kind of cool, with this kid that hates his father, because he took his Creepshow comic book away, so what he does is make a voodoo doll and kills his father. There you go. So overall, go check out this movie if you haven't. It's a classic. I love it. Like I said before, 9.2 out of 10. Go check it out. Go check it out now. Go. This is Gore's Horror Movie Month, number 15, and I'll probably have a number 16 up tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'll review. Maybe Creepshow 2. I'm not really sure. But yeah. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.